Okay, so let us continue from 217. Which of the following statements is not correct with regard to the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act? So, Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. Try to remember that date. And 2005, some any important acts in 2005. Five important acts. Already we have seen 2002 Biological Diversity Act. Okay, from example, okay, RT also 2005, very important. Right to Information Act 2005 is very important, and just now we are seeing Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005, which is a very important act, especially from society point of view or women empowerment. They might ask even in polity also. So this is always a very important act, Women from Domestic Violence Act 2005. At the same time, 2005 Right to Information Act is also very important. It is also one of the landmark act, okay, which is very useful for the. So this is both from the point of society, and you have group one mains. What is that? Polity and what is that? Four subjects they are given: ethics, polity, governance. Yeah, from governance point of view also. So for group one mains also, this is a very frequently asked questions. Okay, right about the Right to Information Act or various acts that help the civil society, etc., etc. All the civil society and everything will come under sociology, especially Right to Information Act. Very important. So, which among the following statements is not correct? Okay, with regard to the protection of so and so, economic abuse is considered a form of domestic violence under the Act, which is with common sense we can say yes. Sexual abuse is considered a form of domestic violence, which again we can say yes. The Act does not extend to live-in relationships and only covers marital. Okay, the Act protects women from both physical and verbal abuse. So all the other statements are with common sense, we can say. But whether it does, I mean, I think there is a Supreme Court judgment which says that this Act also applies to live-in relationship. Does Domestic Violence Act apply to live-in? Previously, live-in relationship is something new, but DV Act, it has been specifically mentioned under Section 2F of the Act that it not only takes under purview married couples, but also those under live-in relationship. So, Section 2F, okay, it may be difficult to remember, but you can try to remember, and also it applies to live-in relationship. That is more important. Okay. Next, identify the causes for growth of regionalism in India. Again, with common sense, we can answer. Imposition of a particular ideology by the central government. Okay, identify the causes. Okay, so this is particularly like we can say currently what is the news? Uniform Civil Code. So that is a particular ideology imposition of a particular ideology by the central government. So some specific community may not like the idea of a uniform civil code. Regional imbalances. Again, in Jammu and Kashmir, we have higher Muslim population. In some places like Goa, Kerala, etc., we have high Christian population. So if you bring a very uniform code, so in some places it may not be acceptable to that particular community. Underdevelopment. Okay, this is one of the obviously if there is sufficient development, education, etc. People will be less prone to issues of regionalism, etc. Awareness of deprivation. Again, common positive. We can say with common sense that all four are reasons for growth of regionalism in India. And regionalism means looking after the interests of one's own region. Okay, we have seen the definition yesterday, regionalism, and also we have seen something called parochialism. Just some time before we have seen. Where is that? Okay, where is that? Okay, see, parochialism and regionalism. The people of a region see only their interest, okay, and shun nationalist outlook, and that is called as A1234. So that is called parochialism. Within regionalism, that is one thing, and regionalism is people of a particular region raise voice for their autonomy, rights, fair share, etc., etc. Like how we have seen in Mumbai, for example, there was a backlash against people who are coming from outside to work there. So something like that. And also interstate disputes secede. When you want to secede, your region that wants to end its association from the nation. So if one state wants to get divided and go away from the country, then that is called as secessionism. And interstate disputes we have like with Andhra, Telangana, or we have Telangana and Karnataka, the Kaveri water issue, etc., etc. Those are interstate disputes, conflict over sharing of common resources, land boundaries. Majorly, it comes in the form of river sharing, and it is very important for us to see which river has conflict with which state. For example, let us see river water sharing issues. So Article 260 is very important. Article 260, in case of disputes relating to water, Parliament may by law provide adjudication of dispute or complaint, etc., etc. Basically, regarding interstate rivers, so Article 262, keep in mind, Group 1 mains, I'm sorry, Group 2 mains quality, it is very important. And also, Article 262 and interstate, one in particular, interstate water disputes, interstate council, okay, interstate council, article. Okay, Article 263 is very important. This is what I wanted to say. Article 263 is very, very, very important. Article Interstate Council is a non-permanent constitutional body set up by President Chawla on basis of Article 263. Okay, Interstate Council. That is very important. And also, we have to see what rivers, for example, Godavari means you have Telangana, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Andhra Pradesh, etc. And Krishna. So in AP we have majorly Godavari, Krishna, and Penneru. So at least those three rivers we have to see what disputes they have. Okay, fine. So the Shuddhi movement to bring back to the Hindu fold people converted to other religions from Hinduism was launched by uh, So if you've seen in India, I mean, sorry, history, specifically modern Indian history, social and religious movements, you will see that Arya Samaj by Swami Dayanand Saraswati, 1875. Okay, you have to remember all these things. Brahma Samaj, 1828 by Raja Ram Mohan Rai, that is very, very important. And Atmi Sabha, 1814. And Brahma Samaj is more important, 1828. And Arya Samaj, 1875 by Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Prarthana Samaj also by Justice M.G. Ranade. Let us see. Prarthana Samaj is also very important. Prarthana Samaj was founded by Atmaram Pandurang and Keshav Chandra Sen. Okay, remember this. It became popular after M.G. Ranade. Okay, M.G. Ranade is also associated with Prarthana Samaj, but it was founded by Atmaram Pandurang 1867 when Keshav Chandra Sen visited Maharashtra with an aim to make etc. etc. So okay, Atmaram Pandurang is the founder, and Justice M.G. Ranade is also associated with Prarthana Samaj. That is very important from history point of view. So, because we are preparing for the preliminary, it doesn't matter history, society, everything. Whenever we get an opportunity, we have to prepare for everything. Okay, so Arya Samaj, the first thing that has to come to the mind is Swami Dayanand Saraswati, and he gave the call, go back to the Vedas. Okay, that is one very important thing. And they were also involved in campaigns against cow slaughter, and also, as I said, go back to the Vedas. That means they were staunch Hindus, and they started the Shuddhi movement to bring back the Hindu fold, other people who have been converted to other religions. So that is related to Arya Samaj. Brahma Samaj, on the other hand, is not much related to religion because Raja Ram Mohan Rai was he was more like a social reformer. So he was fighting for he was very he played a very prominent role in abolition of sati. Okay, and abolition of sati 1828, I think that is also very, let us see, and by Lord William Bentinck. That is very important. Who is the Governor General when abolition of sati took place? 1829. Lord William Bentinck. This is very important. Okay, Lord William Bentinck abolished sati 1829, and it was due to the efforts of Raja Ram Mohan Rai. That is why, and he founded Brahma Samaj. So Raja Ram Mohan Rai Brahma Samaj was it was like not exactly religion based. It was more about social reform. Arya Samaj, on the other hand, was more about religion. They wanted to go back to the Vedas and this Shuddhi movement, Garvapasi, etc. etc. So, under which of the following act the complaint against the accused can be processed by the police station, district court, deputy director, and women and child development? So, Dowry Prohibition Act, Sati Act, we've seen 1829, right? Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act, this is 2005. Okay, just now see, we've seen. So, Sati Act, let me just confirm, has anything changed after that Sati Act? Okay, 1829. Sati Act 1829. Prohibition of Dowry, we have just seen 2005. And Indecent Representation of Women Act, that's also important. Indecent, okay. This is 1986. Try to remember. Indecent representation of women. Okay. Prohibition Act, etc. etc. What are the important points in it is also important, but at this point of time, for preliminary, no need to go into that depth. So, under which of the following act, the complaint against the accused can be processed by the police station. Okay. Try to remember this: district court, deputy director, and women and child development. So, all these people can take, and also there is a concept of zero FIR these days, like especially after the Nirbhaya case, Disha case. Any police station can register an FIR, which is called as zero FIR. So this is 1829, 2005. This is 1986, and Dowry Prohibition Act is also important. We've seen multiple times. Dowry Prohibition Act, 1961. Okay, try to remember that also because they may give it in a what do you say? Match the following fashion. Any agreement for giving or taking, etc., etc. 1961, no problem. Fine. Next. Feminization of labor. Okay, means basically more women in all kinds of job. Okay, not more women in less kinds, no women, etc. You can understand by the name itself. Feminization is more women in all kinds of jobs. So the main obstacle for women education in India, with common sense, we can say in the inadequate school facilities. This is not exactly, I mean, shortage of female teachers, main obstacles for women education. Inadequate English. English is not a problem because they can go for local language, Telugu medium or the Tamil medium or. So gender bias in school curriculum, I mean, these days it is not a very big issue. Gender bias in school curriculum. Shortage of female teachers also, I don't think it's that big a issue because there can be male teachers also. So the main obstacle for women education in India, I would say, inadequate school facilities. That's it. Gender bias not in school curriculum, but maybe in the minds of the parents. Even though we have around 30% of urban population, more than 70% is in rural areas, and in rural area we have a mindset as a certain gender bias, but definitely it is not there in the school curriculum. So I would put only one as the option. He has given as one and two, but anyway. Female teachers, I don't think that should be a problem because whether it is male or female shouldn't be a problem. Stalking is punishable under which section of IPC? And this is very important. Recently, as most of you would have been already been aware, new bills have been, IPC replaced by, what's that? Replaced by the new laws, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita. Okay, three laws. IPC has been replaced by Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita, and the CPC, Criminal Procedure Code, has been replaced by Nagarik Suraksha. Okay, remember this. It is very important because it has been recently, what do you say, enacted. So Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita replaces the IPC, and CPC is Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha, if I'm not wrong. Okay, see, Bharatiya Nyaya Samhita is IPC. Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha is CPC. Criminal Procedure Code has been replaced by Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha, and the Indian Evidence Act has been replaced by Bharatiya Sakshya Bill. Okay, remember all these things, very, very, very important. And if try to read the acts and see if anything different. Probably some additions, subtractions would be there. Anyway, stalking is punishable under which section of IPC? Section 354D. you may not be able to remember at such, I mean, these sections and all, especially for IPC. In polity, you have to remember starting from section 14 to section 51, each and every section with subparts you have to remember, especially when it is for group 2. And in general, out of the 395, you have to remember at least 100 to 150 articles when it comes to polity. But IPC, CPC and all, I don't think you need to remember, but just in case, remember starting is 354. Recently, we've seen some Lok Sabha rules, etc. Rule 258, 358, disqualification of MPs. So try to remember those also. So according to the Immoral Traffic Act of 1956, on first offense, what is the punishment for procuring, inducing, or taking an adult person for the sake of prostitution? So Immoral Act is related to prostitution. 3 to 7 years of rigorous imprisonment and fine. Just keep that in mind. It's not that important. This is very, very important, very basic. As I said, Article 14 to 51, you have to remember. Article 17 is untouchability without any, I mean, you should not take even 1 second to answer that. Article 17 is abolition of untouchability. And Article 26, 27 will come somewhere. I think religious practices will look into that when we come to polity. Article 143 is the right of the president to contact the Supreme Court for advice. All this will come in polity, but very important. Article 143 also, especially when the president has any doubts regarding, say, some decision that was taken 100 years back, or something, anything, the president has a doubt, he has the right to consult the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court will give its what you say recommendation. That comes under Article 143. 202 is probably something about governors and all, I think. Article 200 is the governor giving assent to his bills. So 202, let's see. Article 202. Whenever you get an opportunity, you have to look into it. Mostly, it will be something around governor also. Okay, it is about annual financial statement, budget, etc. Fine, no problem. Article 110 is one thing very, very, very important. It's regarding to the money bills. It's very important. Article 110. Okay, it deals with the money bills, and the speaker of the Lok Sabha has the exclusive what you say authority to decide whether a bill is a money bill or not. So it's very important article. And Article 27, that parts, that as it is, I said you have to remember all those articles. But let us see. As I said, it is regarding religion and all. So let us not read this individually. Let us see when we read about 14 to 51 at a stretch. It is better to remember because you literally have to buy heart all those articles. So leave it for now. So, what is the definition of violence against women adopted by the United Nations Declaration on the Elimination of Violence Against Women included? So, basically, violence against women and what is done by the United Nations. Okay. So, as per its definition, only domestic violence, only violence perpetrated or condoned by the state. Okay. So, as per the definition of the United Nations, what is violence against women means? Domestic violence and violence perpetrated or condoned by the state. So, basically, whatever the state government says. So, state government will obviously have a lot of like everything, all this stalking, everything, and physical abuse, mental abuse, economic abuse, everything comes under domestic violence. So, which of the following is not relevant as far as the protection of women from Domestic Violence Act is concerned? So, Domestic Violence Act we have seen 2005. So, domestic itself says it is something within the home or etc. So, monetary relief, physical abuse. Okay, workplace we have a separate, right? We have harassment.
In
What?
Vishaka guidelines.
Vishaka guidelines. Yes, sir. Vishaka guidelines. Yes, Vishaka guidelines resulted in this act, harassment at workplace. Harassment. This one, sexual harassment of women at workplace, prevention and prohibition, etc., etc. This is very important. It is a result of the Visakha guidelines. Visakha guidelines is something, an incident which has happened in Rajasthan, where a lady government officer has been gang raped, and because it was in 1970s, I guess. and from that came this act, Harassment of Women at Workplace Act. I think the latest one is 2013 Act to provide protection against sexual harassment of women at workplace, prevention, redressal, etc., etc. 2013 is the latest, I think. Okay, 2013. Okay, this is also very important. 2013 Prevention, Prohibition, and Redressal. So, which of the following is not relevant as far as protection of women from domestic violence is uh, concerned? Okay. So basically, we have a separate act for workplace prevention. What is that? Sexual harassment of women at workplace, 2013. Try to remember the dates also as much as possible. So apart from that, we have, whenever we have a marriage, domestic violence within the marriage, then physical abuse is involved. You have restraint order, protection orders are issued, monetary relief is provided, etc. So workplace is, uh, what you say, not directly related to domestic violence. So which one of the given issues is not raised by the women's organization in the post-independence period? So lack of maternity benefit, okay, is raised, lack of childcare provision, okay, wage discrimination, etc. Replacement of male workers with female workers. This is something which we have not heard of. Okay, so other things are valid issues that have been raised. So which of the following is not duty of the protection officer according to the Protection of Women from Domestic Violence Act? So if possible, try to read in depth about this particular act 2005 because many questions are being asked. So which of the following is not the duty? Okay. Ensuring that the aggrieved person is provided legal aid under the Legal Services Authorities Act of 1987. Okay. Make the domestic incident report. Okay. With common sense, we can say yes. Assist the magistrate in the discharge of his or her functions under the Act. Okay. Coordinate between the services provided by concerned ministries and NGOs. So he has to perform whatever needs to be done, but coordinating with other ministries and NGOs, etc. Among these statements, this seems the possible answer. Okay, so we can say that who is the protection officer need not coordinate between the ministries, NGOs, etc. But he has to file reports and give legal aid and assist the district magistrate in the discharge of his or her functions. So Kerala always, whenever you say literacy rate, the first thing that comes to Kerala in mind is Kerala. And from economy point of view, literacy rate is a very important literacy rate in India. So 77, okay. These things you literally have to remember. There is no other option. It is also in polity, economy, everywhere. Society, society also, economy also. Literacy rate in India, literacy rate of 77. So man will be something in 80s, 84, 84. Okay, 77, 84, and 59 is Andhra, I think. Female. Okay. Uh, Literacy rate female in India census 2011. Okay. Where is the most backward, etc., etc. Okay, 65. So today, 2011 na 65. So 77, 84, 65. These are bare minimum which you have to, of course, you have to remember lots of other dates also. But bare minimum is 77 for India, 84 for men, and 65 for women. Minimum you have to remember. For Andhra Pradesh, we'll see separately. So Kerala, Lakshadweep, and Mizoram. Okay, fine. So try to remember that. Actually, you may get considered Goa also very high. I mean, generally as high literacy, but Kerala, Lakshadweep, and Mizoram have very high literacy rate, more than 90%. Keep that in mind. Kerala, obviously, everyone knows. Mizoram and Lakshadweep. So gender roles are roles assigned by the society to each sex. Okay, those are called gender roles, not about biological, not ascribed to men and women, not to men alone. Okay, to each sex, whether it is male, female, or transgender, whatever it is, gender roles are those assigned by the society to each sex. Sexuality is often considered primarily biological and socially the part of private domain. Okay, men dominate over women in sexual relations. So here is said that both are true. Okay, so in this is generalized statements. So as a like you can remember it as a definition of something. Sexuality is considered primarily biological and socially part of private domain. Men dominate over women in sexual relationship. Okay, maybe some survey or something they have done anyway. So according to 2011 census, sex ratio of women in India, sex ratio of women. So this is wrong. 940 is not. It is 943, and for Andhra it is 997. Hmm, so is 943. Okay. For Andhra, it is 997. We have seen multiple times. 997. It is very high. And highest is Kerala. Okay. Kerala, it has crossed 1010 something. Kerala is very high. 1084. So we have to take 2011 census because 2021 census has not come yet. Okay. 943. No, it is not 940. 943 is the sex ratio. Is there sex ratio, not women, men, anything. Sex ratio in India is 943. For Andhra, it is 997. Women must be under the control of their father, brother, husband, and son. Is struck by Manu. Keep that in mind. Manu Charitra, etc. Is very frequently in news. So he said that women must be under the control of someone. Okay. Vasishta, Kautilya. Kautilya Arthasastra is also very important. It is frequently asked. Number of parts, number of books. It deals with economy, it deals with finances, administration, etc. Very important. Kautilya's Arthashastra. How many sections are there? What are the topics it touches? All that is very important. The chief barriers of female education in India. Shortage of female teachers. Okay, inadequate okay, school facilities, as we can see most government schools, the toilet facilities, etc., are not very good, and because of that, many girls students have dropped from school. We hear about it frequently. Gender bias in school curriculum. I'm not sure if this is. Let us see this shortage of female teachers. Already we have seen it once. So let us do one thing. Achieve barriers of. Let us check what is right now. Barriers of female education. Okay. Poverty. Okay. Early marriage. Okay. Education is too expensive. Social norms, financial constraints, child marriage, conflict and crisis, violence, and gender bias. Gender bias in general, I don't think it is regarding school curriculum. Because ambition within gender bias within schools and classrooms may also okay. Example of gender bias. Okay. So they are saying that gender bias in school curriculum also seems to be an issue. Anyway, let us see. Is lack of female teachers a barrier of female education? Lack of qualified female teachers trained and highly qualified is essential to ensuring girls. Okay, so that is the general idea where female teachers important for education system, gender equality, poverty, child marriage, gender-based violence. So I think we have to remember that shortage of female teachers is also an issue. Okay, shortage of female teachers is also an issue. Inadequate school facilities definitely issue. Gender bias in school curriculum is also an issue. Okay, school curriculum means the syllabus, etc., etc. So somehow that is also is causing an issue. Inadequate English schools is not an issue because they can go to Telugu medium also or whatever other local medium. Which of the following areas is child labor found in abundance? All of them. Hotel industry, okay. Tobacco, matchsticks, etc., etc. It is frequently found. Carpet weaving. Hotel industry does not mean large five-star hotels, etc. We are talking about small scale Kaka hotels, etc. Carpet weaving and diamond polishing. Okay. Apart from this, commonly you see bricklayers and what I mean brick, especially in Andhra Pradesh. Child labor are mostly found in this brick kilns, etc. That is a very big issue specific to our state. Anyway, okay. So when was the National Child Labor Elimination Authority formed? National Child Labor Elimination Authority, 26 September 1994. Try to remember. Okay, so So Raja Rammohn Rai is quite famous. Is the one of the foremost social reformer, 1805. So he's one of the first. So Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar also fought for women, especially women widow remarriages, etc. Next, if you come to AP history, Kandukuri Veerasalingam is known as Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar of the South. That is one very important point. And Jyotiba Phule is also known for women's education. So Jyotiba Phule, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar is very important from history point of view. Let us look at what kind of uh, Jyotiba Phule. His wife is Savitribai Phule, so he has educated his wife also. They started many night schools and education, untouchability, caste system, etc. Mainly, I'm looking at any books. See, Satya Sodak Samaj. This is very important. Okay, organization founded by Jyotiba Phule, Satya Sodak Samaj is very important. And who gave the title Mahatma to Jyotiba Phule? Farmer Vittal. Okay, no problem. Okay, so Jyotirao Phule and Savitribai Phule, his wife, they are both important. And Satya Sodak Samaj, that is very important. And let us see Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar. Yeah, date of birth and all is not very important. Particularly is Sanskrit College and University. Okay, what are the contributions of especially widow remarriage? Okay, he is more famous for widow remarriage, and Kandukuri Veerasalingam is also very important for widow remarriage and also corruption. Also, he played a very important role in reducing corruption, but he is more famous for widow remarriage. So his college Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar of the South. And one more important thing is Hindu Widow Remarriage Act of 1856. Okay, that's also very important. So just before the revolt, okay, revolt of 1857, just before that, Hindu Widow Remarriage Act has happened. Keep it in mind. And Ishwar Chandra Vijay Sagar means first thing you have to get is widow remarriage. Jyotiba Phule is more about education, women education. So let us now see what the question asks. The social reformer viewed subjugation of women as an instrument for maintaining Brahmanical dominance is Jyotiba Phule. Okay, so he felt like Brahmanical dominance and women, etc. Keep that in mind like that. Don't remember the exact statement, but he talked about such a thing. So Iravati Karve, we have already noted down something. Iravati Karve, wait. Okay, Kinship Organization in India. Okay, that is the book written by Iravati Karve. Kinship Organization in India. So Iravati Karve spoke about that kinship. And also remember how many types of tertiary kinships? 151. Okay, we've seen many times that question. Primary kinship, secondary. So primary is basically father and son, mother and son, father and husband and wife, etc. That is primary, secondary, tertiary, grandfather to grandson, etc. So there are 151 types of tertiary kinships. Child sex ratio according to 2011. This is child sex ratio, not general sex ratio. General sex ratio is 943 and for Andhra 997. Child is 914 if I remember. Just let us cross check. It is 914 only. Child sex ratio 2011. As per the census 2000 child sex ratio, show decline, all that is fine. It is 914 only, as far as I remember. Okay, fine. It is not clear here, but child sex ratio 0 to 6 years is 914. Okay, remember. Which of the following statements is incorrect? So all these other are correct. Laws are adequate, but women need to engage with law. Okay, seems fine because when we are in city, we may not realize it, but more than 70% of the population is in rural areas, and there, even though there are laws which are adequate, the women do not usually uh, go to the courts or police station, etc. Recognition and de-recognition disqualify women with disabilities from accessing legal rights. Recognition and de-recognition disqualify women with disabilities from accessing legal rights. Okay, we'll see what the statement means. Personal laws and politics hinder the development of UCC, which is right because we have a Christian personal law, Muslim personal law, Hindu personal law, and politics. Because if someone does something, immediately there's going to be opposition. So that is a definitely right statement. So Indian women experience uniform citizenship rights, which is definitely wrong. You can see, especially recently in the news, we have triple talaq, etc. So that is clearly the incorrect statement. Sex traffickers always target women and girl children, which is obviously true. Sex trafficking is a major form of violence against women and has adverse effects on women's physical, etc. So the statement, both statements are true. And first thing you have to remember is Article 23, I guess. Article 23. Prohibition of trafficking human beings and forced labor. Okay. Traffic is also, sex trafficking is also a part of traffic. So Article 23 is very, very, very important. Okay. So when you say traffic or anything, first thing that has to come is Article 23. Very important. Article 14 to 51, literally, you should have in your mind. So what is the main reason for women being increasingly pushed to the unorganized sector? So we can use our common sense. All four are correct. So try to remember. Lack of opportunity to acquire skills and training, which could facilitate occupational shift. Okay. In villages, especially rural areas, you don't have the kind of opportunities. Unequal structural conditions, which is true. We have, there is a preference for male child, etc., etc. In the society, gender bias, etc. Women have to bear the major burden of domestic chores, which is also true, especially in rural areas. Women lost jobs due to globalization process because of lack of proper skills. So all four are correct. Due to globalization, okay, this is the end of this particular PDF. Okay, 242. It is almost 1 hour. Okay, fine. So we have completed till 242. Let me stop the recording.